Go. Oh, hello.
What's it?
This
Oh,
is Geeks Assembled, and this is Audio Heads. And I hope that you didn't hear that from the Zoom creation. It's just bizarre. It's talking to us, Lee. I got Lee here with me. We're here to discuss the BBC is actually the BBC with BBC actors performing The Amazing Spider-Man. I mean,
mm.
I was mind blown, mind blown, I tell you. Yeah, so it was produced by the BBC, and the cast list was there was it was great cast list, and but I don't really know anybody, so that's all right too. And then the other thing is it was they the in the end credits, they didn't give Jack Kirby credit for Jack Squad, which always fucking pisses me off.
Mm.
Yeah, like Stanley, of course. Oh, holy Stanley, like, king of
Yeah.
king of Asgard, for crying out loud. Stanley, who's like in Valhalla right now. Stanley, but why don't they talk about Jack Kirby?
Well, it's like Jack Kirby, and it's like what's his name? Is it Dictor?
Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
never met.
Steve Nichol.
Yeah, they never. It's always Stanley.
Yeah.
There's yeah, okay, give him his due, but
Ah,
there was all these other people as well.
no
Um,
kidding.
yeah,
Yeah, seriously. Anyway, so that's that happened at the very end. So let's go to the very beginning and tell you a little bit about this. It was the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man versus all of these bad guys. Anyway, I'm gonna let Lee tell you all about who they were fighting and what the heck it was going on in this.
well,
Why don't you tell the whole freaking story? Because there were some there were some quick plot points, and it was amazing.
let me just have a quick slurp out of Spidey's head.
Nice. God.
Um, right, this is the first time I've heard this. I knew it existed because being a music aficionado, I bought the CD single of the theme song by Brian May,
Of course you did.
which was MC Spidey and Friends. But so it was just I couldn't wait to listen to this week. Originally, it was broadcast on Radio 1 in the UK in 53-minute episodes. So maybe this is why it was so fast paced.
Yeah.
These episodes on this was all put together as a 2-part, which added up to 2.5 hours long.
Okay.
For me,
Fair enough.
yeah, so they must have done it on a daily basis. I think it aired from January 1995 to March 1995
Okay.
on a daily basis. But it's fast paced, which I loved. There was it didn't slow down. It was just like a live action. You could imagine reading as you read a comic. It was in your face all the time, and I think that's they did that on purpose. And as I say, it flew by, and I was amazed how many characters they got in this.
Oh my word.
We had the Fantastic Four. You had the Submariner, which came as a surprise. Of course, Spidey, Dr. Octopus, the Sandman, the Green Goblin, Doctor Doom. You know, it was just, it was just.
Dormammu.
Oh yes, and a cameo at the end by the Dread Dormammu. And of course, J. Jonah Jameson.
That's so many baddies.
And you say you can't have Spidey without J. Jonah.
You're sorry.
But it was a retelling. I think it was based on the early works of Stan Lee, of the Spidey comics, and it was a retelling of his origin. But they didn't really stick on that. It was a few segments of the origin. You know, how he got bit and how he was trying to earn money by fighting, and of course Uncle Ben dying, all like that. But then it was all hell breaks loose with Dr. Octopus, and it was. You say you didn't have any origins of the villains; they were already there. They were already established. But it was wonderful. It was great to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, like it was. There was the sound that they created was, I mean, because they populated it with so many voices. I mean, more than just like the main characters. It wasn't like a Snyderverse where it's just one voice in the dark with another voice in the dark. There were thousands of people. I mean, it was just like zing, bada, bing, bada, bing, bada, bing, bada, bing. Oh my gosh!
It's like a live comic. Yeah. Whoa. Really amazing. Amazing Spider-Man.
God, it was so fun, and people who love Spider-Man must have just been like creaming their jeans. This would have been like the most happiest moment of their whole listening, anything listening to BBC One during that time. I mean, oh my gosh, hilarious. So I thought it was like there was a jailbreak, and then there was Dr. Octopus, and then there was the sound effects of the Sandman, and how they ended up dealing with the Sandman. So, what were your favorite moments? I like. I was blown out of the water.
I just like the craziness of Dr. Octopus. He where he conned the police officer to undo his mechanical arms. But he was just out there, was Dr. Ock, and I'm just looking down here now. I mean, some of the actors did double up on characters.
Obviously.
Let's have a look. I mean, you had Gary Martin as Ben Grimm, the Thing, but he also played the Dread Dormammu as well. So they did. It was good to see Brian May's wife in this, Anita Dobson, playing Liz Allen.
Oh, the woman with the really super high voice.
Yes. And also we had Garrick Hagan. Now I know that name from somewhere. I'm positive it's from Doctor Who. Maybe the Time Monster, but who knows? I could be wrong.
Let me look it up really quick.
Yeah, I just saw the cast list and I thought Garrick Hagan, because it's a name it's not a common name, that, and I'm positive it was Pertwee story. But it was good to say they did the retelling of Uncle Ben, but they didn't really dwell on it. And I did like the way J. Jonah was out to get Spidey, but he never got him. Every time. He was always put wrong.
Oh, Lee, you know who Garrick Hagan was?
Go on, go on.
He was Biggs in the A New Hope.
Is that what it was?
He was the guy in the checkered helmet. Biggs lighthearted or whatever.
It wasn't in Doctor Who then.
I don't know, but that's what he's most well known for,
Ah.
and that's a big one. I mean,
Well, as I say, the name rings a bell, but I'm just looking now. But you say, and then you also had the conflict between the Fantastic Four, because I wasn't expecting the Fantastic Four in this.
I know that was amazing, and then they were trying to change the thing back.
Yeah, it was. Hold on,
Yeah.
he was in Doctor Who. The Mutants.
Oh, nice.
He played Kai, the rebel leader. There you go.
He's always been a bit of a rebel. That's fantastic.
But say then you and the way they set up a Spider-Man fan club.
No. And it's the guy, what's his name? And this is funny because his name is reference to the DC character.
Who's that?
The guy who sets up the fan club is named Flash.
Oh, Flash. Now I'm positive Flash, because I'm not big on characters in comics, but I'm positive Flash does turn out to be a villain further along the line in comics. He might be like I think it might be Hydro Man or something like that, but who knows?
Okay, well, Flash.
Flash,
because there's like they're both supposedly set in New York, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're both these young kids. Yeah, you can see why you'd put him as his nemesis in school and his most ultimate fanboy.
And Peter Parker couldn't work it out.
And he never got that relationship sorted.
Yeah. And then you got the insaneness of the Green Goblin.
Oh, I know.
With his pumpkin bombs.
And they started off with him on a skateboard, and then they put him on he went back to the lab to work it some more, and he comes back with his floating board.
Yeah, his glider or whatever you call it.
Yeah, his glider.
I just love the way the pumpkin bombs sort of sing. Be the pumpkin bomb, the pumpkin bomb. I enjoyed it beginning to end. The only thing I was a bit iffy about was the portrayal of Doctor Doom. I thought he was a bit camp.
He was a bit camp. He was a guy in a metal helmet, a metal cage, whatever.
I was expecting because I'm used to Doctor Doom from the animated cartoons and stuff like that, of being with a foreign voice because where's he from? He's from somewhere, isn't he? He's not from the America. He's from a foreign country. He's Doctor Victor Von Doom.
Yeah,
but then
perhaps he sounds a bit German.
But I don't know. He sounded a bit camp to me. But
we know a few people from Germany who have been.
But the actor who played Doctor Doom also played the Sandman, and he did a fine job with the Sandman. So
I know it's true.
But
they really wrote Doctor Doom as a camp one. I mean, they didn't add the gravitas to him. Well, that was so fun. The way Spidey was taunting him and stuff. That was great.
And the way he tricked him with a cage. What cage? But yeah. Oh, I mean, if they could have made, this 2.5 hours They could have done this as a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It had all the elements of something of a movie, but every time they do a Spider-Man movie, it's either a reboot with the same story.
Or the origin story and
Yeah.
then something slightly different.
Yeah.
But
But this
this one went off in a totally different direction. They had bombs, at the nuclear bombs, unexploded ordnance at the bottom of a deep trench that was threatening Atlantis, the southern.
mm,
I mean, there was Atlantis in the northern Atlantic Sea range, and then there was the Atlantis in the southern Atlantic Sea range. So I mean, like they even like said, no, we're not talking about these guys. We're talking about these guys. And it's,
yeah.
like, I mean, they just went, ah, there's something new, and like and then Namor. I mean, okay, here we go. Uh, the Submariner, he never gets enough respect, and neither does Aquaman. Those, because they're fish people, that they are completely dissed by usually.
But
Go ahead.
the Submariner needs a movie like they did with Aquaman to redeem that character, because they really did redeem Aquaman in the movie.
Oh yeah, and Jason Momoa.
Yeah, so
Oh,
this is what the Submariner needs. It does need a movie adaptation, but they need to do something like they did with Aquaman to get people into the theaters.
yeah,
So,
yeah, they do. They totally do.
but
Who would you cast as the Submariner?
oh
Daniel Craig.
no, he's not. He hasn't got the look of the Submariner.
Oh, he doesn't.
No, you got his Submariner's. It's sort of muscly but lithe as well, and he's also got slick black hair, hasn't he?
I don't know. I don't really remember his hair. I just remember his green.
He's
All
what?
green.
No, he isn't. He had green trunks.
Let me see.
He had green trunks with little wings on his ankles and little pointy ears. His skin is pink like ours. Unless you've been reading faded comics.
Oh, some of them, yeah, some of them looked a little old. Yeah, you're right.
Hold on, I'll be a minute. Go on, carry on.
All right. So let's see. There was I love the sound effects. The sound effects were rich, and there were so many, because it was moving so fast. The sound effects didn't have to be, the absolute best in the world. And let's see. Um, and Spider-Man was conflicted because he was hearing other people talking about. I think he heard the Thing, Ben talk about Face It, or was it? It was another one of the
Mhm.
Fantastic Four that was talking about how they were tired of their experience post post radiation, and they said, face it, we're done being different. Um, and that was a really big trigger into the second act of this. Like,
Yeah,
the first act was all like, get just doing the science and getting getting in touch with Fantastic Four, and you know basically skipping out of high school and a bunch of other stuff. And
That's what gets me. What gets me about Peter Parker is he's still at high school, but he manages to get a gig at the Daily Bugle with no problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
But
Yep. And the other thing was the other sort of emotionally tinged point was when Namor was talking about Atlantis's code
mhm.
and how you know they were going to join the United Nations because of um, that code, and so that was really high. It was a uh, high tension moment for me.
High tension moment all the way through this.
Yeah, and then one of the things that I thought was absolutely freaking hilarious, and I laughed a lot, was how they dealt with the Sandman. He vacuumed him up. He used a Hoover to deal with him.
And he goes, "Where's the Sandman?
He's,
He's in the bag."
yep, that was super funny. So go ahead, your favorite moments then.
Well, can I just say that this was written by and directed by Dirk Maggs, who has done quite a few audio dramas for the Beeb. I think Judge Dredd and stuff like that. And he did a brilliant job on this. And down here on this read up, it does say this is loosely based on Stan Lee and Steve Ditko's early comics. So Steve Ditko gets a mention here anyway. But as you say, it never mentioned anything on the audio.
On the audio, no. Crying out loud, it made me so mad.
For me, favorite moments. I just like the way the characterizations of the four main villains in this. They say the Green Goblin was just out of this world. He was just out for Spider-Man. End of. That's all he wanted. He didn't want anything. He just wanted to get rid of Spider-Man. Sandman was just a big time crook, really, wasn't he?
Yeah.
A thug.
Yeah.
Which I like the bit where the Spidey keeps getting hold of him, and he just disintegrates down, and then he can go solid, and then he nearly Spidey hits him and nearly breaks his hand because he's gone solid. And I say, and Dr. Octopus, he was just he wanted to blow the city sky high as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
What was it? Was it fusion? Was it a fusion bomb or something?
Yeah.
But he was thwarted, and as I said, Doctor Doom was double crossing the Atlanteans.
Yep.
So
and ended up in the cage.
Yeah, but it wasn't explained about the Dread Dormammu part. Maybe there was going to do I don't think there is a sequel to this. But
they kind of implied that there was.
Yeah, I'm going to have to a bit of research, see if there is one somewhere. But yeah, I enjoyed it from beginning to end, and as I say, it was just so fun to hear the portrayal of J. Jonah Jameson trying his utmost to, as a newspaper editor does most times, discredit.
And he wasn't just newspaper. Because this was done by the BBC, okay?
Yeah.
It wasn't print as much as he was a television guy.
Oh yeah, and also as well. So this
he
was
had his own show.
Yeah, and this was also set in the 90s. This wasn't set in the 60s when Spidey first appeared.
Right,
this was set in the 90s because you had a lot of remarks. Who do you expect? Tom Cruise and stuff like.
And Star Wars references, and
yeah,
it was replete with references.
Yeah, but brilliant. So they updated it for the 90s anyway. I mean, that's nearly 30 years ago now. So But yeah,
but it was because of how the script was. It still had a hell of a lot of innocence and stuff. Wasn't as postmodern as a lot of the stuff in the 90s.
yeah.
But yeah, you could, like, the colors. I
Well, I think
imagine it had the 70s colors or the 60s colors.
the way it was made, the way it was acted, and the way it was bam in your face, and you can see they did it on purpose because of this 3-minute episode every day on the radio. It would get the listener's attention,
Absolutely.
and it did. It got my attention straight away. It worked. But the only good thing about this is I didn't have to wait the next day for the next episode. I went straight all the way through this.
That's true. But it wasn't really written episodically, like as in short 3-minute shorts. It was broken up. It was just arbitrarily chopped up.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there was a little bit of a flow. I mean, the whole story with the Fantastic Four and their scientific experiments in reducing the effects of the radiation that they had. That was really interesting to me because and the maybe 25-minute long, 30-minute long talk about Stu and Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean that as well.
Married.
Yeah, that as well. Two things about the Fantastic Four. They didn't know about Spider-Man because he was new on the scene, so they didn't know whether to trust him or distrust him. So there was that debate between the Fantastic Four. Do we trust this kid, or do we? Does he become our new enemy? I think she was quite good. And then also when the Submariner turns up, there's a sort of
and he falls instantly in love with Sue.
Yeah.
And so
it's like a love triangle.
And she had just gotten engaged. Oh my God. Yeah. Love triangle.
Yeah, there's sort of Submariner, Mr. Fantastic, and the Invisible Girl love triangle.
Yep.
And a love-hate relationship between the Human Torch and the Thing.
Yeah.
Flame on.
Yeah. And so yeah, it wasn't written quick. It was written. I mean, it wasn't written quick episodes, but it was written together. But it was chopped up. But I could tell. But the other thing that was really cool about this was the music was absolutely freaking amazing. It was like Brian May jamming, and it was like
you can recognize his guitar anywhere.
He riffed, yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it was a good call on them to get Brian May involved.
Yeah, agreed. So, anything else, Lee?
No, I was glad that we came across this just by chance. And I was happy to sit down and listen to this week, and I may listen to it again at some point because it was so fast you may miss things here and there. But all in all, I enjoyed listening to this. 2.5 hours of pure comic book enjoyment.
Yeah, I agree. And one more thing about Victor Von Doom was that he all the other people, I even have it in my notes. All the other people in his team were all Russian sounding.
Yeah, he
I
had
mean,
a,
it
like
was he had a very Germanic voice, but everybody else was definitely Russians, and I was like,
yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of what country Doctor Doom comes. I'm gonna have to Google it. Doctor Doom, because I know in the comic books he does
"Dude,
come from
please."
another. Doctor Doom. Let's have a look.
Which is
Uh,
good because that's the end of the Cold War, and there was a lot more interaction between. I mean, with the Iron Curtain coming down or
yeah,
being parted, it was definitely something that that you would see as contemporary in an audio about the 90s. And
right. Doctor Doom, Victor Von Doom, blah 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 blah. Um, created by Stanley and Jack Kirby. And there we are. The monarch, Victor Von Doom, is the monarch of the fictional nation Latveria.
oh, so it's kind of like Latvia and
Yeah,
Estonia. And
Latveria, yeah, Latveria.
okay,
I knew it was a foreign sounding country, so really he should have had a bit of a foreign, but
yeah,
a
it's fair.
slightly camp, a slightly camp. Doctor Doom with his hands on his hips, with a bit of a swagger.
A little bit. Yeah, that was really something. So Lee, anything else?
I had no. If anybody's watching this, please watch this and listen to this, please. It's on YouTube,
Yeah,
and I think it's on
look,
Spotify.
just like this. This is what
Yeah.
I took this right out of the YouTube thing.
It's in two parts on YouTube, and I'm positive as well. It's on Spotify as well. Um, but yeah, give it a listen because it's thoroughly
Radio
enjoyable.
One,
Radio One, when Radio One was good.
Radio One. Yep. BBC,
Mhm.
Brian May,
Yeah,
Spider-Man, and then the story here that leads you into it. You just can't go wrong. It's really fun. It's super high energy, and it's super dramatic.
yeah.
And there are definitely sweet bits and emotional bits. Oh, one that I forgot to mention was Aunt May having a heart attack, ending up in the
Oh,
hospital, and Spider-Man running away, and J. Jonah Jameson going, ha 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 ha, he ran away. It's time to destroy him. Whoa.
again.
Like, like, like you do if you're a TV guy in the 90s. Whatever. Anyway, and then, you know, I mean, at least they didn't go the route of having, what's his name, the Green Goblin attacking her like they do in all the movies that have been recently made. She doesn't get threatened. She's just hurt, and so he runs away. So that causes some issues.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah,
Spider-Man is uh he swings his. You can hear the web,
yeah.
and it's sort of slurpy. It's a definitely different sound than you would think that has been done with zings and pops. This has got a more of a an organic sound to it. And
Yeah.
what else? What do we talk about? Like the swinging. It's like wow.
Yeah, because he was finding his feet, wasn't he? Because it was all new to him.
Right.
I mean, that one where Aunt May and Uncle Ben opened his bedroom door and he was on the ceiling. I mean, he had to make a good excuse up on the spot there why he was on the. On the
Oh my gosh, yes.
you can understand why Spider-Man is. I would say Spider-Man is the biggest Marvel superhero. I think more people love Spider-Man from the Marvel side of things, as in DC it's usually Batman.
Right.
Yeah, you can understand why people love Spidey.
Yeah. and yeah, it was super fun to also like hearing him try to make his like costume and
Mm,
all
yeah.
the little thingies that you reminded me of that. Yeah, but when he was like, "Oh, this mask is rubbish," he didn't say it that way. Anyway, that yeah. What else? Anything else? Gosh, let's keep mining this if you don't mind.
Um, I'm trying to think now. I like the. I don't know how it wasn't really explained, but how Reed Richards knew exactly where Doctor Doom was.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know where he is. He's in my laboratory next door. How did he know that? And why would you go there? Why would Doctor
Why
Doom
would
go?
Doctor Doom go to the Fantastic Four building at all?
But there again, he did buy the building.
Oh, that's why.
He became their landlord, and he said, "I could kick you out anytime."
Oh my god, that was so funny. Yeah. Oh, this is my lab. This is my building.
Yes, I can kick you out anytime I want.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Anything else? We got anything with Uncle Ben?
Uncle Ben, there was more because I always found in the movies you don't really get to know Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
You know, he's there 1 minute and then he's gone the next. This one, you had him around for quite a while.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
um, by getting Peter a birthday present for a microscope and all like this, and
Oh yeah, inspiring
um,
science.
pawning his golf clubs and
Yep.
stuff like that. So you got to know Uncle Ben a bit more in this, which was, and of course, the actor who played Uncle Ben played J. Jonah Jameson as well. So
Yes.
two different characterizations there.
Yep. And really different. Like that's right. Peter was basically like a savant studying science,
Yeah, yeah.
and Uncle Ben did, the sacrifice to inspire that or to keep moving that forward.
Well, what did he say? When is he going to get the chance to play golf in Brooklyn or something like that?
Yep. So good. And that's the thing that's, you know, slightly different about Marvel versus DC. And here is just a really simple, in a nutshell thing is that even though there are lots of cities that look like other cities
Yeah,
in DC, they are in uh, fictional cities.
yeah. That's
But
DC for you.
all of the Marvel stuff is and basically started with Spidey in New York,
Yeah.
and so
Well,
Spidey goes
I
to
think
the
I think most of the Marvel superheroes are all in New York City, aren't they?
there's a lot of them that are.
Fantastic Four, Spidey, Daredevil, uh, the Avengers. They're all there.
No, the Avengers are in they're more in DC. They're more Washington DC area.
Right.
But the other thing that the Iron Man built has a lab that's sort of like Langley. Okay, it's like that whole Langley, Virginia, D.C. area. And the other thing is like you know the Incredible Hulk for a lot of his stuff. He's on the West Coast in Los
Right.
Angeles and let's see the um, the X-Men are in Connecticut somewhere. They're in some sort of rich ass place in Connecticut, you know,
Right.
north of New York, almost in Boston, but not quite. You know, it's not. It could be Boston, but you know, they just don't sound. They don't have the right accent to be Boston.
So
Okay,
are you telling me that Boston doesn't have a superhero?
Boston doesn't have a Marvel superhero. I don't think.
What's going on?
I don't know. We're hopeless. Jesus, I know. Totally, I totally could use like a Scarlet Witch or something. I mean, that could have been Salem. I mean,
Yeah.
but not in Boston. There's just nothing to be said about this.
Oh,
I mean, the thing that was like, you know, when he's definitely on the pier and definitely in the building and you know
yeah.
sliding down Broadway or sliding down, you know, Fifth Avenue, you know where that is. In New York, I mean, it's like these places. They're on. He flies through Times Square for crying out loud. So yeah, definitely, you know, something about this that is, you know, the about Marvel that touches, you know, more normal people than DC. DC doesn't touch normal people because normal people don't live in fictional cities.
And now you're saying it doesn't touch normal people, but you see, I'm more of a DC fan, and
I
now you've answered my thingy. I'm not normal.
Oh, okay, because you're used to living in fictional cities.
In my head, yes.
I get it. Yep, that's different.
I mean, from all the Marvel comics I used to read when I was younger, the Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and the X-Men were my favourites. But then I discovered, DC. I just love DC. I think DC are more colourful and they've got more range in their character, for the superheroes. You know
Huh,
what I mean? Yeah, but I like both. But I always lean towards DC
I
more than
know,
another.
but you are, yeah, you could be considered to be not a normal guy, so don't worry about it.
Hence, of course, my Joker T-shirt there.
And yeah, and let me tell you, when they address this in this with the thing with Ben saying,
Mm.
face it, I'm done being different.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. It's gonna happen. If you're gonna be a superhero, you're gonna have to, and you're gonna have to have.
I'd rather be a supervillain.
I know. So that's why you've got a British accent.
Oh yes, those Brits are always the villains in everything.
That old trope. Anyway, it's great. So what would you give it out of 10? Now we've
Um,
mined it some more.
I'm gonna give it 10 pumpkin bombs out of 10.
Of course you
Pumpkin bomb, 10, 9, 8. I just love. I mean, I've always loved the Green Goblin,
uh-huh.
the comic book Green Goblin, not the movie version.
Not the Willem Dafoe one.
I loved William Dafoe as Osborn, but I just did not like the costume.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't the floppy hat and big ear. It wasn't that. For me, you've got to sort of stay with the comic style of it. It's comic book. It's fantasy. But
Sure thing. The comments from Alex are that a lot of people thought that was like the Power Rangers costume, the big
yeah,
eyes and stuff.
yeah.
That it wasn't the legit costume.
I mean, if you're going to make a superhero movie adapted from comic books, stick to the original where it's come from. You know.
Yeah.
Wow, but I mean, wasn't that, yeah, that was 2000, wasn't it? So I mean, we're talking 22 years ago.
Well, yeah, but this was 90s. This Amazing Spider-Man BBC thing was from the 90s.
Well, yeah, I mean,
With
audio,
Brian May.
yeah, audio is different than video.
Yeah, we know. That's why we
Yeah.
review audios here on Audio Heads.
So,
That's why we're involved with like getting these stories, finding these stories, mining these stories. I mean, we can still dig further if you want.
We digged and came up with this one.
Finding diamonds of great value. And I will give this 10 web slings out of 10. And it was a really enjoyable piece. And I think the people who didn't join us on this, hello, Spider-Man. Hello, Mr. I think the people who didn't join us on this are sad. So that's just true. They're just really sad people. I mean, they can't be abnormal like Lee, and they can't be normal like me, and they can't ride in this
We will be taking their geek card off them.
and we will and they can't ride in the submarine heading toward the southern part of Atlantis. They're going to really miss out on some stuff. And with all of that, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Hello, we are happy to have you here with eyes and ears and or whatever you've got, because you know we are grateful for your view, and thank you. Thanks. Please subscribe if this is your first time bebopping in. Yeah, please subscribe to our video, our channel, and you know, YouTube will give you a notification, and we do like 3 things a week. So hit the bell, get your notification. Come on. You can fast forward to the video if we are weird, too weird for you. You know, just give us a view for everything that we do. Oops, excuse me, I'm a little drunk. And please do support your local police force, and you know, try not to be as arrogant as J. Jonah Jameson on any front.
Support your local friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Definitely support your Spider-Man, and if you do happen to see someone new in a cage fight called the Spider-Man, you know, I would go down and look for that guy. That guy's going to be amazing. That guy's going to be famous. That guy's going to save your life. And I can't wait, because Boston needs him.
Boston needs a lot of things.
True story. Well, thanks for joining me, Lee. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're reviewing The Shining.
Yes.
And what's the other one? It's a British one.
No, it's The Frighteners.
And isn't that British?
No, it's Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson. It's Australian then.
It filmed in New Zealand, but set in America.
Oh, all right.
Michael J. Fox stars.
Oh, Michael J. Fox. That'll be fun. It's like kind of like him. He's cool. You know, ever since Bright Lights, but you know, the Back to the Future, and we've reviewed all the Back to the Future. So please, if you feel like it, go back and find our Back to the Future videos.
Well, we've only done one, I think.
Oh, we have only done one?
I think we did the first one, but I don't know. It's been so long. We might have done 2.
We'll drop that one in. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.
Bye.